Hello and welcome, I'm the Cyber Viking and this is Terminal Tips. In this video, we'll be looking at 3 different ways to find files within the Linux terminal. We'll go through what they are, what the differences are, and how we can get them working best for you. Let's take a look. So the 3 main tools that we will be looking at are locate, which, and find. And they operate in different ways. We'll go through how they actually work. Imagine you're in a supermarket and you are looking for the frozen pizza. Locate is like asking a member of staff where the pizza is, and they will direct you straight to where the pizza is. Fantastic. However, if some new pizzas came in the last 24 hours and they haven't been made aware, then they're not going to know anything about them. Which is like asking the specialist in the store. If what you're looking for is within their area, they'll be able to help you out. However, if it's not within their area, then they're not going to know anything about it. And lastly, find is like going up and down every aisle, checking every shelf, until you can find that life-sustaining pizza. You can, of course, narrow down your search. You know it's going to be in the frozen area, but you don't know exactly where. So what does this analogy mean for us? Well, let's go through each of them and show you how they actually work. Locate works by checking a database that contains the location of every file within your system. And now this is updated every 24 hours as part of its normal daily tasks. So anything that's added within that 24 hours, the database will need manually updating. Let's see what that looks like. So if I go ahead and create a new file, you can just use touch, and then we'll do CVUK123. And there we go, we can see we've got that file there. However, if I do locate CVUK123, I can't find anything. Nothing there. But if we simply do update DB, that will do a quick scan through, see what files are new in the last 24 hours since the last time it was run, and it'll update itself. So now, if we do locate CVUK123, and there it is. Now, the downside to this is that it is going to find every instance of a file or directory with that name. So let's show you why that can be a problem. So if we do, for example, locate readme.md, we've got quite a few of them. So you need to make sure you know what it is you're looking for. So, as I said, which is your specialist. Is looking in a specific set of locations and is also looking for shell commands, like, for example, cat or Python or ls, those sorts of things. So, where is it looking? It's looking in the areas as designated by the path environment variable. So, let's have a look at that. So, if we echo path, here we are. So, this is the areas it's looking at. So, it's looking in user local sbin, user local bin, user sbin, user bin, and so on and so forth. So what would we use this for? Well, for example, we could search and check to see what version of Python is installed. We simply do which Python 3. There we are. That lets us know that Python 3 is installed. If we were to check for something that I know doesn't exist, say Python 4, Python 4 not found. So you can do that and you can work your way through Python 3 to an original. You could also check, say, for strings, because I did have a Try Hack Me box that I was on not too long ago, where I wanted to run strings on a file, and it wasn't working. So a quick search of which strings, and in that case, it came up with not found. So I knew that I had to take the file off and do something on our side with it. So lastly, we have find, which is potentially looking everywhere, or at least everywhere that you have access to. So you can get quite creative with it and how you want it to search and where you want it to start looking and how it's actually looking for things. So the syntax for this, fairly simple. We start off with find, and then we want to say, where are we starting our search? Do we want to start in the current directory, in which case we would just use the full stop or the period? Do we want to start at the root directory, in which case we would simply use a slash? Or do we want to go to a specific area, to Etsy or wherever it may be? So that's our starter. So let's say for this one, we'll start from the root directory. Next, you can specify whether you're looking for files or directories. If you don't put anything there, it'll just look for everything. So in this case, let's go for files. So we want to say it is type F. That would be type D if it was directories. So next, what is it we're actually looking for? If we want to look for a file by a specific name, it is simply name and then your file name. If you were looking for, say, files that are owned by a certain user, we would simply do user and then the username. In this case, let's go for the file name. So name, CVUK 123. And then what I always like to add on the end is this little bit here. So going to dev null. So what that does is any errors that it might throw up, it will instead of printing them out on the screen, it will send them to null, which I always call sending it to the void. Because say, for example, if you're searching through and it hits a directory that you don't have access to, it'll start spitting out errors. So let's see what this gives us. And there it is. And we found it. So you can search for files by the size of the file. Unfortunately, you can't specify exact file size, but you can say greater than or less than to narrow down your window of opportunity. And with that, it is just as simple as find where are we starting. So again, we'll do root, and then we are looking by size in this case. We're not specifying whether it's what type it is, so it's just going to check everything. And then we want to say, in this case, we'll just go for, say, greater than 123, and then C represents bytes. If you wanted to go for kilobytes, so it'll be K, megabytes, capital M, gigabytes, capital G. Now, when you're in the position of trying to do maybe a bit of privilege escalation, looking for files that have the SUID set can usually be a good step. The SUID meaning that that file will run as a particular user, doesn't matter who actually runs it. Very, very handy if that file is set to run as root. You may well be able to take advantage of that. So these particular ones I find work quite nicely. I'll put all the find commands down in the description so you can copy them, put them into your own notes, so you've got them for when you need them. So that was that. 3 different ways that you can find files within the Linux system, depending on what it is you're looking for and how you're looking for it. If you found this useful, give the video a thumbs up. If there's any other terminal tools or tips that you fancy a video on, let me know in the comments. And until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, and happy hacking.